You've heard the saying, the mirror doesn't lie. The blood doesn't lie. When it comes to your medical results or your weight gains in the gym, or like I like to say, the charts don't lie, because the charts do not lie. The market may lie, but the charts will not lie. And so if we look at the QQQ, which represents the NASDAQ, November 14th of this year, we had a golden cross. Now, for those of you that don't know what a golden cross is, it's simple. We have a long-term moving average crossing over short-term moving average. And 90% of the time when we get into golden cross, we are going to see a rally. But that's just one indice. There's a few more popular ones, such as the S&P 500, as you know. There's a golden cross November 23rd. Scan over to the Russell 2000. In combination of inflation somewhat getting better, we have the Russell 2000 IWM that is effectively having another golden cross. We scan over to the New York Stock Exchange. December 4th of this year, just a few weeks ago, we had a golden cross. So now we have 4 indices with the golden cross. Let's see what the nail in the coffin is, which shows a massive indicator with the volatility index. You see, the volatility index is a key component of all of this, because once the volatility index goes down, specifically under 13, we are going to see a bull market. It's the complete opposite. Once we have a high volatility, we'll see a bear market. But right now, it seems like the bear market is over. And if you look at this chart, the volatility index is at 1224. We are going to see the bulls come back. And it could happen in the next few weeks. It could happen going into the first quarter, January, I don't know. But the whole purpose of this is that we've been in treasuries this whole year. People are starting to realize we are going to get a rally. Maybe it's election year. Of course it's election year. You know how that story ends there. You got to participate in the upswings. And that's all I'm saying. Obviously, this is not investment advice. This is for educational purposes only. But if you need help with your portfolios, and if your advisor doesn't know how to analyze the markets, then it's time to have a different conversation. Give us a call. Hey, welcome to another episode of Scriptures in Wall Street. I'm your host, Carlos Cortez here. I wanted to just say, if you just saw that video, that was me back in December 16th of 2023, basically letting you know that the bull market is about to rip. And what do you know? The actual markets are actually up. Whether it's fake, manipulated, I think you know the answer there. But the real answer is that these people, the markets are manipulated. And even Mark Cuban said it himself, like, the market is rigged. The whole thing is actually rigged. However, you can make money in a rigged market. Now, everything I say on this podcast is not investment advice, and it should be taken as information and education purposes only. I can only share my opinion, but also just know that my opinion is not financial advice. It is for educational purposes only. I am securities licensed. I am a financial advisor. And if you would like investment advice or a second opinion on our portfolio, simply just give us a call, 813-448-3446, or visit our website at cortezwm.com. You can also download a free copy of our guide at americafirstretirementplan.com. And look forward to help many, many patriots navigate this weird financial markets we are in. We believe that we can make money off of manipulation, but more importantly, we believe in a covenant process that includes all things from being anti-CBDC to invest in America, to invest in things that align with your faith, to invest in things that you don't agree with. Maybe that's LGBT, maybe that's promotion of LGBT, maybe that's ESG, right? So we are funding a lot of this ESG movement that even your own 401k and your IRAs are being embedded into. And stupid-faced Biden with Bidenomics wanted to implement all 401ks to have a mandatory allocation to ESG, environmental social governance. So, which I am like the little David fighting the Goliath on Wall Street, because there's no other advisors that have the cojones to actually step up to the banks, the banksters, so to speak, and basically stand up for good. I believe that scriptures need to go back onto Wall Street, as an oxymoron that sounds, but here I am. If you want to learn more, simply just follow me on Scriptures in Wall Street on Rumble. I've been there for over 2 years. I'm also on the Stu Peters Network. And I've been doing some shows with many conservative guests that are well known in the space. But I look forward into possibly talking with you, and either myself or my consultants can help you realign your portfolio so that you can have peace and comfort and sound mind in your portfolio and invest America first, but more importantly, align with your own values. But hey, we got a lot of problems right now. This may feel more of a rant because I don't like to take notes. I like to talk about what is fresh, and there's nothing scripted about this. I do have bullet points that I write down because I tend to forget if I don't talk about it. But there's just so much happening. There's so much happening. Just look around. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to look around. Just look what the IMF just came out recently. The IMF, the International Monetary Fund, basically said that they are giving U.S. a warning. The U.S. has received and certified a warning saying we're overspending and that they're greatly concerned for our country. This, of course, is right after we decided to send $95 billion to Taiwan, Ukraine, and you guessed it, Israel. And let me get this straight. It doesn't matter what network I am in. I believe that we need to stand for the biblical Israel. I do not hate Israel. I do not want to promote Hamas, or I'm not pro-Palestinian. I support the biblical Israel. I support God's country. And I think as a country, we need to go back to that. I don't like the Zionists. I don't like the evil people, but there's evil people in every category, in every industry. There's evil people in the church. There's sheeps in wolf clothing. There's wolf in sheep clothing. And there is evil people everywhere. And we can't annihilate one country because of a bunch of bad apples, right? We can't annihilate one person based on a few bad cops, right? So that would be BLM, which I don't support. That is also victim card mentality. I don't want to have the victim card mentality. We need to take responsibility. We need to do what's best for our family, for our country, and move forward. Period. It's really not that hard. And first and foremost, you cannot hate someone and have Christ in your heart. It just doesn't exist. Now, I don't want to say that God is love and God is this and, he wants just to give you a hug. Look, we're not about the wussification of Christianity. God is a God of justice and honor and righteousness. He can kill people with the lightning flash. Like, that is the truth. And yes, sometimes we do pray that God's wrath, Romans 13, gets on the heels of many of this evilness. And it will. It will. The sin will come out. You can't hide from sin. You can't hide from darkness. Like, it is going to, or you can't hide in darkness. The light will eventually shine and you will feel God's wrath. But we are not here to promote anti-Israel. We're not here to talk bad about Israel. Yes, there's Zionists, but there's Zionists in every color, in every industry. And it is the Bilderberg Group. It is the Luciferian New World Order. It is embedded in our political system. And in Washington, D.C., there is a lot of evil out there. And it just doesn't, there's a lot of ties to the Zionists and Israel. We get that, but not all of Israel is bad. So I just wanted to share that and clear the air there, because I've gotten plenty of emails saying, where do I stand on Israel? And it's not that I want to promote Israel. I just want to understand that we love Israel. We love the biblical Israel for what it stood for. But yes, we don't want to support the homosexuality that's being promoted and the perversion that's coming out. We don't support that, obviously. But we want to support God's people. There are humble people still in Israel, Messianic Jews that still love the cross, and we want to support that. But I also wanted to just talk about today the overspending that is going on right now. It is unfathomably disgusting. The $95 billion that are going to Ukraine again and Israel and Taiwan. Like, the American is struggling. The American is struggling so much that all time trillions of dollars have been allocated to credit card debt that people will never be able to pay back. We have the IMF basically saying that, dude, you done effed up, man. Like, you've destroyed your country so bad. There's no turning back at this point. And what do? We pass a $95 billion love care package to Ukraine and Israel and Taiwan. Like, come on, man. Like, there's single moms, single dads. There's people literally working their butts off just to buy eggs, bacon, and food and steak and chicken for their family, and milk and eggs and diapers and basic necessities. Like, groceries are just off the charts. I mean, look at these people that are struggling.
Am I the only one that feels like they just can't do this anymore? I just got back from the grocery store. Let me show you what I bought. This is all I purchased. That's it. This is dinner for tonight, a few snacks for my kids they wanted, and dinner for them tomorrow night, the pizza. That's it. Some veggies. I didn't even buy the organic stuff. I bought the cheapest stuff. Bought stuff that was on sale. There's a few things I am picky about ingredients, such as the tomatoes, but that's it. Everything else was the least expensive stuff. Take a guess. Take a guess at what it costs. And you're probably wrong. $123. $123, that was with all my discounts for barely 2 nights of dinner. Barely 2 nights. I remember when I could spend about $120 and get groceries for a whole week, and that was breakfast, lunch, and dinner for all of us. And $123 is going to get me through the next 2 days. I can't do this much longer. Financially, I can't. I don't want to spend the money, but it's also just killing me. And I make decent money, so something's got to give here.
Does anyone else feel like they're absolutely drowning financially? As a single 29-year-old woman, I have 3 jobs. And I'm still struggling. And I'm just getting myself farther and farther into credit card debt because I don't have enough after the first of the month to avoid using it. It just isn't working. Full-time job. Not doing it. Got a second job. It's barely doing it. The third job. Hit or miss. If I even get paid on time. I feel like I'm drowning and I don't know what to do. I don't know if any industry is doing well right now. I used to be a server. I used to have all this cash every night whenever I would walk out with cash. And I don't have that anymore. And I don't even know if they're doing okay right now. Like, I have seriously considered quitting my full-time good job to go back to serving. Because at least I can just like use my personality and try to get more money than minimum wage or what an entry-level job pays people nowadays. It's sick. I tried to call my mom. She didn't answer. Snapchat my friends about this because I just needed a vent, but I just feel like I'm drowning. It's like, okay, do I just find a boyfriend so I can split everything with him? Like, sorry, like, I'm too stubborn and I just want what I want. And I just can't do that or be that way. So yeah, friends, I might say no to your weddings. I might say, and I have said no to bachelorette parties, and I just can't. But is it anyone else? Or am I just with money? Because I used to not be. My credit used to be phenomenal. Credit card bill, paid it all off every single time. It's not like that. It can't be like that anymore. Oh my God, this is so long. And do I know it's up? I know it's up. Okay. All right. Feels a little bit better. Feels a little bit better already, I'm not going to lie. Just want to know if anyone else is like me right now, or if I'm just like the dumb.
So, I mean, you see, like, we have these Americans that are struggling, but yet here we are just handing out money like it's the Oprah Winfrey show. And what does that equivocate to? That basically means that inflation is going to go up. That doesn't necessarily mean the crashing dollar is going to happen. You need to buy gold. No, you need to pause on that, because there's a lot of distractions, a lot of misinformations on that. And most of the people that are selling gold and promoting gold, they really don't have your best interests at heart, because they're not fiduciaries. They're just cash transaction businesses, and you buy it and you're on your own way. I don't care who they are. But at the end of the day, you do probably want to have some precious metals during this time. As a matter of fact, there is a solution to all this, and I'll talk about that through our covenant process. But, the Committee of Responsibility of the federal budget, most people don't even know what that is. It's the Committee of literally responsibility of the federal spending. There is a federal committee, and they basically have an article that we are spending so much money that it's beyond return. And so what are we going to do to get out of it? Well, there needs to be some checks and balances. So with the federal government just literally passing $95 billion, guys, would it be to Taiwan, Israel, and Ukraine? How that is going to affect you is the overhaul of the taxation. They will literally steal your money through taxation. And what you need to understand is that you have to be proactive right now more than ever. More than ever, we are having a massive takeover over your retirements. I'm afraid to say this, but we're not going to have Social Security within 10 years. We're not going to have Medicaid within 10 years. This is going bankrupt. We've gotten a downgrade. Don't forget this. We've gotten a downgrade of our U.S. economy by stupid-face Bidenomics. Like, how in the hell is this going to last? Like, we don't have a second option. We're not going to go to Canada. We're not going to go to Mexico. We're not going to go to Taiwan. I'm not going to go to Europe or whatever socialist freaking country. It is terrible. It is absolutely stinking terrible that we have these bimbos in office that are giving away our children's money to these countries that have no caring at all about the future of our country. And so that goes to show that these people do not care about what is going on in our economy. It's sickening, man. It's absolutely sickening. Like, I don't know about you, but my grandmother came from another country, legally came here. My father legally came here from another country, Nicaragua. My mom's Puerto Rican. And they joined the military. My dad joined the military. My mom was already an American citizen. But my grandmother came over here legally, left her farm, and she wanted to build in America for the American dream. Now, we welcome people here legally. But this border crap, this coming over here and squatting and taking our food and going to New York and getting a bodega card, and there's 53 million people that are getting free bodega cards because they don't like the Roosevelt Hotel. Are you freaking kidding me? They don't like the food that we're serving them? Like, what the hell is going on here? Like, how do you not like food? I'm sorry, if you don't like an American hot dog, then go pound sand. Go to freaking Africa, for all I'm crying out, and eat their food. If you don't like our hot dog, get the hell out of here, man. But no, we got to pay for it. We got to pay for it. My children have to pay for it. My children are going to be born with negative checking accounts right out of the freaking womb. It is terrible. Like, if you're 40 years old like me, I've been doing this for 20 years. I got gray hairs to show it. See? Been doing this for a while, man. I started as a stockbroker in Manhattan, in woke Manhattan, before all this crap went down, when it was cool to be from New York. But I'm not from New York. I just started my career there. I am I am from the South. I'm actually from Raleigh, North Carolina. Born and raised, baby. Very proud. Go Carolina Hurricanes. But now I'm a Tampa boy, so I'm voting for. I'm rooting for the Tampa Bay Lightning. If you know anything about me, I love hockey. But I'm saying all that because there's so much spending where other countries are now worried about us. They are fiscally saying we are being irresponsible. Like, come on, man. Like, that's not even in our playbook. Like, other countries calling us financially weak and financially irresponsible, like the IMF. Like, what presence do we have at a global level? Not only are we weak in our military, we're weak in our economy, we're weak on our border, we're weak on our policies, we're weak in every aspect of this stupid administration. And so it goes to show you at a deeper level, what are they trying to do? And this is where all the theories come in. This is where all the opinions come in. And guess what? I'm not here to cater to your opinion. I'm here to tell you the facts. I'm here to tell you the truth. Because at the end of the day, I don't have any sponsors, man. I'm not here pushing gold. I'm not here pushing whatever. I don't get paid out to promote my message. How I make my money is simply, you call, I make my 1% fee because I'm a fiduciary, and I help you manage your money. That is my aim with this podcast. Other than having your book, your name written in the book of life, I hope that I can inspire you to question your own faith, knowing that you are a sinner just like I am, and that you cannot live your life by yourself. There is a God, and he wants you to call him his Savior. His name is Jesus. And so my aim is to promote the cross through Wall Street, through money. Hey, I like money. We need money to live, to give, to help our churches, to plant churches, to be an impact. So my question to you is, if you have an advisor, what industries are you investing in? As a matter of fact, you may want to write this down. If you have an advisor, I would ask him, what'd you do in 2008? More importantly, what is my standard deviation? Like, straight up, what is my standard deviation? If he or she stutters or doesn't even know and says, hey, I got to get back with you, then I'm sorry. They're not looking out after your best interests. You got to know your standard deviation like this. If your advisor doesn't even know what that is, then I don't know what's worse, him not knowing or him not caring or she not caring. So you better ask your advisor, what is the standard deviation of my portfolio? And the other question is, what are my fees? Like, what are my advisory fees? What are my operational expenses fees? What are the fees in my insurance-based products? What are my fees in my mutual funds? There's nothing wrong with that. And then you should ask them, are you vaccinated? What do you think about the vaccine? Who'd you vote for? And here's the whole thing is that, why are you with an advisor, with a big bank that doesn't agree with your values? If you're listening to the Lindell Network or the Stu Peters Network or whatever it is, you are probably a conservative and you probably give a darn about your money and where it's invested in. Do you know that Bidenomics has a law and a bill passed that they simply want to just take the money and invest it in their ESGs? Like, that's their whole aim. And if you look at many articles online, how ESG and retirement, just go ahead and do an internet search, and you'll see that Biden literally created all of this laws that never got passed. They were trying to with ESG, but ESG is blowing up in their face, more so that BlackRock themselves have literally quit the whole ESG marketing campaign and the whole agenda because they don't think it works. BlackRock. Yeah, the same people that are buying the homes in your local neighborhood and buying out and manipulating the real estate markets. Yeah, them. They don't even think it works. So we get the question a lot. Like, so what are we going to do? Like, what are you going to do if Biden wins? That's another question you can ask your advisor. What are you going to do if Biden wins? How is this going to change the portfolio? Are you going to stay vested in the stock market? When is the next death cross? What are you doing about the inverted yield curve? What are you going to do? How are you going to reposition your assets when the yield curve uninverts, when that 2-year is no longer paying higher than a 5-year treasury? 90% of the time when that yield curve is inverted and we have a 2-year treasury paying 5% versus a 5-year treasury paying 4.5%, there's something wrong there. The economy is saying, look, dude, I am about to explode. I don't know what to do. Everything's effed up and screwed up and intertwined, and I don't know what to do. Help, help, help. That's what those yield curves tell us. The bond market tells us what's going to happen before the equity markets do. And that's why the older investor loves studying the value lines out there, the bond markets, because the debt and credit markets always want to tell us what's going to happen in the future. Even though I have all these artificial intelligence scanners, I can tell you what's going on, just like I did in the video. I can do shot calls. I can tell you, hey, cocoa is going to hit this level and it's going to drop like a sack of rocks. That is completely, completely true. So if you're looking at shorting something, you might as well look at cocoa because it is going to come down like crazy. That and orange juice. Here's a chart on cocoa. I'm really excited about the future, about what's going to happen, because with our covenant process, our investment philosophy, it doesn't matter if Biden wins or he steals elections. It doesn't matter if Trump wins, we still win. Like, I don't know, what are you doing now to protect your retirement? Like, we have plans that are anti-CBDC. We have plans that will help you get out of this system that that are literally there to hurt you. And if they're not coming after your money, they will come through the taxation of it. So it's really important that you be proactive. And so we have programs through the Never Tax Me strategy, through our America First retirement planning strategy. All you got to do is go to americafirstretirementplan.com, download your guide. If you like what you see or hear, then we can book a one-on-one directly with me or with one of my consultants, and we can see if our strategy is a good fit. But we have programs like, if you have an IRA and you need to convert it into a tax-free bucket, we can help you with that, because at the end of the day, the CBDC, everything is tokenized. Like your home, your car, everything is tokenized. When you go buy a car, they no longer give you a paper title. It's all emailed. It's already in the blockchain. The money in your bank, it's already in the blockchain. Like the money in the bank, you've already lost. Like you're just a beneficiary for withdrawal purposes. So you have the right to basically withdraw money at the bank's discretion, of course. Like you cannot just go in and say, hey, I need $10,000. You need permission. So check out this one video of this one guy it's already happening in other countries where they can't even take money out.
I can't, wait, I don't understand. What are you talking about?
So I can either give you a bank draft, or if you're going to get cash, I will need an invoice for the car purchase.
Why? No, I'd like to, the car's payments for in cash. I can't use a bank draft.
Are you buying from like a private?
Yeah, it's private.
person?
It's literally from my friend.
From your friend?
Yeah, but he wants it in cash.
Can he give you like anything that you're purchasing from him?
No, you don't need that. Bro, what is it? I'm only asking for 3. What is this? It's my money. I'm allowed to withdraw from my own bank account.
Yeah, so I can.
You said that what's the maximum limit you can give a withdrawal to a customer? It's $3,000 on the date. You've already mentioned that multiple times.
Yeah, not today.
Why not today?
Today I would need a bank draft, or I would get an invoice.
But why you need proof of what it is? Why is that? And why is that? Why is that? Why do you need me to tell you what it is? What kind of proof is that? I bring in a note? Like what is that going to change? I don't understand.
So that would
You need to give my money.
Buying.
I'm not taking a bank draft. I would like cash, please.
Yeah, I won't be able to give you cash today.
Okay, wait, I'm just going to sit here until you give me cash, so I'm not going to leave.
Okay, well, if you want, we can have a sit there.
And then do what? Who am I waiting for?
I can get the manager to talk to you.
Well, yeah, get the manager, because this is it's unbelievable.
So as you can see, the banks are here to literally not give you your own money. Like when you put money in a bank account, you sign behavioral agreements, you sign all these account agreements that say, basically, we want you to relinquish our funds, or the bank is saying, we want you to act a certain way, and we have the right to deny your withdrawal request because it is at the greater good of the institution if it's available or not. And you are willing, through the Dodd-Frank Act, basically stating that if the bank goes belly up, they have the right to bail in, or bail is called a bank bail in your money for the greater good of the bank, and the bank determines when they can pay you back. So if we look at this one stock called KRE, KRE is actually a banking index of all the regional banks. And so we get the question a lot. So where should we bank at? Where do you bank at? I'm a conservative and I'm afraid that they're going to J6 my bank account. Well, I'm here to tell you that any bank could take your money. Any bank can do it because there's behavioral clauses. Credit unions, regionals, we're no longer safe like that. So you got to be very careful on who you want to bank with. So what I would advise or recommend, or what I would do, or maybe if you're a regulator, I probably need to say, for information purposes only, I would basically split up different banks through state chartered banks. That's really the main thing, state chartered banks. State chartered banks are ran by the state. They are backed by the NCUA and not the FDIC. So just so you know, the FDIC only requires 0.74%, less than 1% of your money. It used to be 1 to 3%, but now it's 0.74 at a minimum. So if you got $100,000, they're only going to need $740 to back and reserve your $100,000. So they have the right to take over $99,000 and loan it to Joe the plumber, which is fine. And they'll give you a certificate of disappointment. I'm sorry, a certificate of depreciation. I'm sorry, a CD certificate, right? A certificate of deposit, and literally kiss your money goodbye, and we're going to give you an interest. Oh, if you need the money, you're going to pay a penalty because we already loaned it out. We loaned it out 4 or 5 times. We made 7, 8, 9%, and you get maybe less than 1%. Sounds like a certificate of disappointment to me. Well, millions and millions of people have done this, and really, quite frankly, we have $6.2 trillion in money markets. So not only do we have an inverted yield curve, we got $6.2 trillion of people that don't know what to do with their money. They don't know what to do with their money. And this is where the gold scammers come in. Say, oh, you got to buy gold because the banks are going to crash. Well, yeah, they could crash. But we also don't want to pay 20, 30, 40% in sales charges because we're fearful to a gold company that's going to screw them. And then more importantly, even sillier, have a whole IRA full of gold. Gold IRAs are a freaking scam. Don't do it. They're terrible. They are no good because you don't own the IRA. The government does. And then where are you going to put your IRA? In Delaware or Texas? What are you going to do? Pay for a camera to see someone view it? Come on, guys. Don't be that silly. Well, maybe you have it. If you're going to have it stored in your home. Don't have too much you can handle. But you need to diversify. And if that's you, give us a call. There's other solutions. There's other ways to protect your money, not just precious metals, and not just buying Bitcoin, and not just stuffing money underneath your mattress. Give us a call. We want to give you reasonable, sound choices that are effective in any market condition. 813-448-3446, or simply visit us at CortezWM.com, or you can download our guide at AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com. We want to help every single patriot that's willing to listen. And hey, we may not be a right fit. That's okay. I'm not here to do business with everybody, but we want to make sure that we are able to help you, and we can honor the cross, we can honor our country, and we can honor your stewardship that God has called you with your own money. So if that's you, give us a call. We want to help you. And we don't want to fund this woke agenda and ESG garbage. So, hey, if we scan over to the S&P 500, we're starting to see some weakening here. And if we look at the charts, And it's really, really not that hard, right? I'm not saying, oh man, the stock market is going to go down. Look, the volatility index shot up to 22 last week. And I've been looking at the volatility index for years. And I tell you guys that, you know, it will hang around 12, 13 for the past 6 months, but eventually it's just going to shoot up to 15, 16, 17. Well, it blew past that. It went to 22 last week. So here it is, volatility season. It's already here. And we had banking issues with KRE last week. It was a sell signal. Now my scanner is saying it's a buy signal. It is complete manipulation, man. Complete manipulation. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry, guys. We have so much. We have so much going on that I want to tell you that there is a gazillion things you can do, but one thing is don't be too busy to not do something. And it's almost biblical. And I want to say, like, when in my daily devotion this morning, I read a commentary Bible from John Corson, and I wanted to share a quick scripture real quick. It was Luke 10:41. Thou art careful and troubled about many things, but one thing is needful. And basically, in Luke 10:41, the scripture before that says, and Jesus answered and said unto her, Martha, 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 when you hear your name spoken twice, take double heed, right? And basically it says, thou art careful and troubled, but many things, but one thing is needful. And so basically what Jesus was saying, that Martha was fixing all kinds of courses, but you're preparing for, like, if you're preparing for a big meal, but you don't understand, I only want one thing, a simple meal. When I began to think on this, it caused me to wonder how often I give people what I want to give rather than what they really want. For example, if you know guests are coming over to your home, do you find yourself busy, busting around, only to be exhausted when they arrived? And people don't care whether your windows are spotless or your floors are clean or waxed. What they care about is substance, peace, love. And those qualities can be nurtured if we are spending all of our time fractionally making sure that there are no leaves on our lawn. So basically, we get caught up in the busyness of trying to look good and prepare when all we have to do is just show up as ourselves, as we are. And that's what Jesus is telling Martha. And I just thought that was just amazing, because how many times personally I get caught up in ice hockey and doing podcasts and being present for my wife and trying to practice for worship leading and, you know, getting my chords right when I'm singing at church and leading praise and worship, or preparing for a client, when all they wanted was just to have a conversation. All they wanted to know is that, hey, you care. That's it. Like, how many times have like, just today, oh my gosh, I was trying to just have like 10 minutes with God, listen to worship music, opening the same Bible earlier this morning, and just really having my quiet time. And bing, 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 my cell phone was going off. And then the music, like, I wanted to listen to certain music, and then that led into something else, and I was completely distracted where I only had a few minutes. And I literally took that time away from God. And I think we live our lives where we are just 100% going 100 miles an hour with kids and work and just the busyness. And that is Satan's most deceitful thing, is that he makes us busy so we don't have time for our spouses, our kids, for God, for our faith, to get down. Look, if Muslims can pray during Ramadan every single time, like if I go to the mall and it's like 5 or 6 o'clock, I see them kneeling down. They busting out the carpet. They don't give a flip who's looking. They'll bust out their magic carpet in the middle of nowhere and start praying to their false god. Like, why can't we stop in what we're doing and pray to a real God that has literally resurrected from a tomb that no man can move? That's what solidified the cross, man. The resurrection. There was many people that got crucified. It's brutal. They had a whole process ready. That process wasn't new because Jesus died on Calvary. No, man. They had crucifixions all over, man. But it was the resurrection from one man that never committed any crime. It was that resurrection that literally changed every industry, that changed everything for all of mankind. Where even Muslim, atheists, people that don't believe in God, they couldn't even go to the malls. They couldn't even shop. They couldn't even do anything because businesses were closed on Easter. Every knee will bow. Every tongue will confess, at least on Easter. Whether you like it or not, I'm sorry, young lady, you can't go to Louis Vuitton and buy your cute little purse. And I'm sorry, Mr. Guy, you couldn't go to your food court to buy your beer and your chicken wings. Nope. Jesus did that. Jesus did that. Oh, the people that went to church that day. The only day they ever went the whole year. I'm sorry to ruin your plans, but maybe Easter should be spent with your family and not at the mall, trying to buy things for people that you don't even like, to impress people you don't like. It is crazy, man. So I have this video of people just going to the mall and on Easter from a man from 2,000 years ago, plus 2,000 years ago. All he did was die on a cross. He lived a sinless life. He died on a cross. But, he's fake. He's not real. He's a fallacy. And every Muslim, every person, every demon that wanted to go to the mall, their plans were erupted because of that exchange, what happened on Calvary. And it wasn't the crucifixion. It was a resurrection that we need to focus on. And so I don't care if the Jews or the Romans, whoever killed Jesus, it was the Jews, but the Romans pulled the trigger, right? It doesn't matter who killed Jesus. He knew he was getting slaughtered on that cross. He knew he did it for us because we're imperfect. And if we can stop, humble ourselves, and turn from our wicked ways, then God will heal our land. But we're not stopping. We're not humbling ourselves. We're getting more arrogant. We're getting more feminine. The guys are acting like little queers now. They're wearing dresses and it's completely gay what they're happening. Gay is just like a problem in the church. Like, why can't we just stand up in the church and say, look, we don't want this. We want masculinity back. Ever since we started wussifying the man, we got away from the cross, and now they're attacking the man. And the man is dressing, back in 2000, it was metrosexual. It was okay to be metrosexuals, to have these little cute little blonde tips in your hair and wear an earring and wear form-fitting clothes. It was cool. It was like trendy, like to have your eyebrows thin, like a Nike check mark on your forehead. That was cool. But it stopped there. We started getting gayer and gayer and gayer. Then the skinny jeans came out. Then guys were doing their nails. And then guys were wearing makeup to make their skin look better. And guys were basically whitening their teeth, whiter than anything else. And guys are starting to look prettier than actually women. And you hear women talking about, man, he is so pretty. If he could just have eyelashes and long hair, he would be amazing. And guess what? They actually did it. They straight up wanted to look like a little queer. And that's what's happening right now. The demasculating of a man. I mean, you have Kim Kardashian on the front of GQ with a business suit tie eating a bag of Cheetos. You have every beer commercial with some fat, lazy guy drinking, pounding a beer and thinking it's funny with eating chicken wings. And they're not, they're just fat and lazy dudes. And that's what they want us to do. They just want to just masquerade the man. They don't want guys being able to do hand-to-hand combat. They don't want guys being men. They don't want masculinity. And they say it's toxic. Well, toxic masculinity is wussifying the man. The man that's on the couch not being present, drinking beer, not exercising, not staying in the spirit of God, not opening the word, not being the priesthood. The priesthood back in the day was a gangster, man. Like he was like Hulk. He was feared. Like you walk into his house, mess around and find out, homie, like he could kick your ass in a heartbeat. because he is there to protect his wife, his children. He is there to provide. He is there to kill anybody that messes with his family. That's the men that we need. He didn't play this freaking garbage, but he also was a lover king too. He knew how to love his wife. He wasn't out there stepping out of his marriage. He wasn't cheating on his wife. He wasn't smacking his wife around. He was a godly man. And we have this generation that it's all about body counts. How many women have you sexed up? How many men have you sexed up? And they call it a body count. And that is like the higher your body count, the more street credibility you have. It's so stupid what these kids want now. And they don't know because we've learned from our wicked ways. And so you combine that with what's happening in the economy, now it really is hitting home. People are paying attention now, man. Like, the economy is in the tanks. The banks are about to fall out, but they're being suppressed by all this money that they're pumping in. You think the money is going to Ukraine and Taiwan and Israel? Nah, man. The money literally is going back into the banks. Like, they're funding these banks. They're funding these institutions. And they're propping this thing up like you wouldn't believe. And they're literally leveraging our debt in hopes that the retiree will pay everything back. So I'm telling you, you got to start converting those IRAs, even inherited IRAs. If you have inherited IRAs, you will have to pay taxes on all this money. So when you pass away and if you don't have a spouse and your children have a inherited IRA, they're going to have to pay all that money within 10 years. If your beneficiary gave you the funds post 2020, the Secure Act 2.0 is commissioned, and you would have to pay all that money within 10 years. So you need to have a plan set where we can literally convert those assets into a tax-free bucket. You pay taxes now or you pay it later. Do you think they're going to go higher later? You freaking bet you daggone right it will, because already from October 1st till now, in the first 6 months of this fiscal year, from October, $1.1 trillion. This is not coming from me. This is actually coming from the Committee of Responsibility of Federal Budget. $1.1 trillion. In 2023 alone, it was $1.7 trillion. So we are going to surpass it. It's projected that we're going to do about $3.2 trillion, the most ever in any single year this year. Guys, the way they're able to do that is because they're just going to raise your taxes, and they're going after your retirement. There's over $33 trillion in IRAs and qualified funds. They're coming after your retirement. You need to have a plan. So let me help you. Give us a call, 813-448-3446. We need to start this IRA conversion ASAP, because they are coming. And this is what I specialize in. I said it in 2022 that they're going to open up the borders. They're going to allow those immigrants to come in. And then what they're going to do, they're going to let them have chaos. There's order in chaos. That's the Luciferian motto. There's order in chaos. And what they're going to implement is track, trace, and control on the illegals that come through. There's not going to be a way to control them. So they're going to create a social credit score, and they're going to say that this is the only way we can control them because they're so chaotic, and we need to be able to help them. And the only way we can help them is implement a social credit score. Then they're going to say, hey, this is very successful. We need to start doing this with our financials. And we need to do this to everyday Americans because it's such a great system. And why stop there? Well, now the banks have signed up for a social credit score called the FedNow. The FedNow program, basically there's 101 banks, and you guessed it, if you know a big bank, it's on there. All you got to do is go to fednow.org and check out the list of banks, and you'll see all the banks there. JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, just to name a few. And all these banks have raised their hand and said, we want to be a part of the track and tracing and surveillance. And they are surveilling the accounts. The CBDC is here. There's nothing you can do about it. You just need to be proactive. So the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements, have said that already in 6 to 24 months, they are going to roll out the CBDC. Well, guess what? The CBDC is already here. They're already saying that they're rolling it out, that means it's already here. It's already tried, true, and tested. So what are you doing right now to protect your money from surveillance? Because we're being surveillance. Our money's being surveillance. There's going to be a social credit score. That is in the books, my friend. What is your advisor doing right now to protect you? Serious question. What are they doing to protect you? And are you buying gold? Are you buying silver? Are you buying Bitcoin? Are you buying insurance contract law? So our covenant process basically is a combination of diversity. So we believe in treasuries. You need to have a brokerage account. Like, you need liquidity. The banks are not safe. The brokerages are a lot better. But more importantly, the treasuries are still paying 4 or 5% on a short term, and they're liquid, and you can have it liquidated the next day. And you're not risking being insolvent by a bank, because if a bank goes belly up, now you got to wait on the FDIC, the government, to pay you back, and they can take as long as they want. Even if it's up to 99 years, it doesn't matter. They'll take as long as you want to unlock the accounts. And God, dog, I would hate for you to live off an income knowing that your money is tied up in a bank. Don't do that. You need to diversify. So gold, silver, you need to have some precious metals, maybe about 10, 20% in precious metals. You need to have a good 40 to 60% in insurance contracts. Insurance contract laws protects you from the CBDC, protects you from a failing stock market. It's a guarantee on your investments. You have insurance on your home, your car, your life, your health, your dog, your business. But where's insurance on your money? So you need to have a guaranteed products that is actually ran by state. So depending on your state, there's different products. And so we have access to that in all the states. I just don't do business in Hawaii or New York. But because of time zone differences, and New York is very difficult. But what you need to do is you need to have insurance contract law to protect you. As long as there's a courts, insurance basically means they're going to replace your account with equal or greater value. So if there's a financial reset, and we don't know if it's going to be Bitcoin or fiat, or maybe the Chinese owns us one day, they got to replace it with equal or greater value, whatever that currency is. The third layer of the covenant process is we have treasuries, we have precious metals. We do believe in precious metals. Precious metals is literally a great asset to hold, but it is not an asset that we plan to make money on. It literally is an asset to protect us if everything all else fails. It is our bug out money. It's money to get us to the next point to survive. The brokerage firms, they all suck. They want they just want to run a communistic entity. You get licensed, and we can't speak the truth. We literally have to run every word we say by compliance officers, and they are on a stupid salary, $60,000 to $100,000 a year, and they will tell you no. And these guys pay them big money, the compliance officers, to literally tell you no. The answer is no. You can't talk about anything other than the stock market. No. And if you talk about the stock market, you have to say these certain words. And you can't have any political opinion. You can't do this, can't do that. I said, screw it. Here's my Series 7. Take it and shove it up your ass. I'm sick of it. I need to be free. I need to be real. I need to be authentic. I need to be vulnerable. I need to be real. And I started my firm back in 2011. And now we're the fastest growing registered investment advisor, in my opinion, in the state of Florida. So we are here, man. We're not going anywhere. I love what I do. I will be the David fighting the Goliath with my little rock and my little slingshot. And whoever wants to come and back me up, great. I'm here. I'm here to support you if you want to support me. But it starts with a phone call. It starts with just being active and proactive and questioning your current status and question, what are you doing? What is the whole aim of all this? Are you trying to get slaughtered? Because the slaughterhouse is right around the corner, my friend. And now the IMF and other countries see it. They smell weakness. And I feel like I'm called. I know that I'm called to get God's people ready for a massive financial reset, a great awakening financially that literally could revolutionize our financial economy and many lives. And so we need to be good stewards of our money in our retirement. Guys, I'm signing off. Love you all. Thank you to the new Lindell Network. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the networks. God bless you guys. And I pray that your name is written in the book of life. If not, just ask God, ask Jesus in your heart, and confess that you are a sinner and that you need him for the rest of your life. And he will give you eternal life. He wants to love you. He wants to prosper you. He has plans for you, not to harm you, plans to prosper you and comfort you. So be with the Lord, and I will see you soon on the next episode. God bless. I'm out to Chicago this weekend, but I'll make sure I do another episode before I leave for my son's ice hockey tournament, and I'll be sure to take pictures and show you. Last time we got swept in Rhode Island in liberal land, diaper face city land. Anyways, whatever. I hope my son's teams cleans house. Pray for us. We have safe travels, and my son actually wins a game. God bless you. I'm out.